Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers, and guess what? It's Friday. So Friday means another episode, like we're a TV series, another installment in our page-by-page collaboration with Kyung Shotwell. Now, this week is week 7, and the prompt is a brad closure. So this is page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, and page 7, which is over here. So this is page 9. Okay, so today, now that I knocked everything off my desk, so today we're going to be adding a brad closure to our page, and here's what I've got out that you're going to need. It's not very much. You're just going to need your page. You're going to need a manila folder scrap. You're going to need papers, a paper to cover the page, a paper to cover the manila folder, papers for the inside of the manila folder. I've decided to make it a writing space, so I have coordinating paper that has the lines on it. And then you're going to need a brad closure. You're going to need some ink, and in this case I'm using the Tim Holtz Distress Ink in colored old paper. Right, so now I've pre-inked everything, I've pre-cut everything, just to save us time. And so here we go. Let me put the brads out of the way up here. So all we have to do, we've got our page. All we have to do is cover our manila folder. You can see this where I was inking, and when I first put the ink on the brush to knock off all the extra so it wasn't super dark, I would hit it right here. So you can see how much darker it would have been if I'd have just gone at it. That would have been too dark. Okay, so we're gonna glue the cover on. Why am I doing it on there? We don't know. So we're gonna run our glue across here. Gonna make sure that we put it right side up. I forgot to write where the top was on here. So we're just gonna wing it and hope for the best. No, we're going to look at the picture. Okay. So, see, it was upside down. There's our butterfly. Our flutterby, which is what I think they should be called because that's what they do. They flutter by. This one was a pretty close fit on the edges. So I'm going to have to, whoops, move it just a little bit. Not keep moving it, but just move it a little bit. Okay. I'll let that dry for a minute. What we're going to use our brad closure for while that dries, because I put a little too much glue on it, is we're going to put our notepad right here on the page. And then we're going to put our brad right here, our closure brad right there to hold this shut. And then we're going to paper the insides here. A nice easy page, but it will give you an idea or show you how to use a brad closure versus just a brad with the strings around it. We may do that later in the book, you never know. Or in the signature, you never know. That could be one of the prompts. But this is different than that. We're not going to put a brad here and a brad there. Here, there, and everywhere. Here a brad, there a brad, everywhere a brad, brad. Anyway, sorry. Bad joke number 1, I guess, so far. You know, you'll notice I say so far. This isn't feeling too cold, so I guess the glue is probably sufficiently dry for us to do the inside. Now this really doesn't have an up or a down. you know, a top or a bottom. However, I do want to put them in the same way. Can you see there's a double stripe on one side? And for some reason, it's not lined up. And one of the pages seems to be a little bit bigger than the other. Did I cut one that doesn't fit? That one fits. This one fits. But it's a little narrower, or it's a little different. That's odd, isn't it? I wanted it all to line up, but it's not going to. Well, I'm not going to stop and reprint. I don't know how I managed to do that. Oh, I do now, because they printed out one page and I cut it out and then I cut it out, so they both had double lines, but they weren't the same part of the page, so the right half of it was different. So that's what I did, because I didn't print it twice. Okay, so we're going to glue this one in. So apparently now it doesn't matter. Get our glue gunk off of there. Maybe I won't put quite as much glue. And the reason it's okay to put this line of glue down is when I rub on it, it spreads the glue out, so it goes all the way over. Doesn't seem to be quite enough glue right in here. Okay, so that's a little close to the edge, so some of it may smooch out. Okay, let's get this lined up on here. Like I said, I went ahead and cut all this and did all this ahead of time because the brad was the main part of this video. Next time, I guess I'll print out two of the same page. You can always use the other part for something. Okay. Now this, I'm going to flip this around. I think that'll make it easier. I'm going to have to order some glue. For some reason, even though I'm in the US, Fabri-Tac seems to take quite a while to get here. I don't know why. I really don't. It should get here quicker than it does, as far as I'm concerned. But then again, I'm not the person that ships it out, am I? Yep, this is not going to line up at all. And as a matter of fact, it is narrower. No, it's an optical illusion. They're the same width right here. Okay. Now, I'm hoping that these brads and these brads were sent by Lisa Fisher of Lisa's Paper Lace and Bling, and her link will be down below. So will Kyung's, of course. And when we glue this to the page, we want to make sure to do it right side up. That was a side note. Anyway, these brads are great, but this is a little thick. So I'm not sure that these are going to be big enough. They work good for one paper thickness or one manila folder thickness, but we'll have to see if they're going to be thick enough to do this. I hope they are, because I really like them. Keep saying they like I'm going to use more than one. I'm only going to poke one hole so in the paper once we glue this on. So if they're not long enough, I can just take the brad back out. All right, now I'm going to put this central to the page. Actually, I'd like to see that strawberry, so maybe I'll put it over a little bit so we can see the strawberry, or a little bit of it anyway. I don't know, that might look odd. Let's put it in the center. Okay, I guess the center wins. So let's measure with our pencil just to be sure. I don't want it to be all goofy. I don't want it to be all wonky. So first, let's do how far up we want it to be. I think I want it. We need room for the brad, so we have to move it up. That almost looks straight too. Sorry if you're seeing the top of my head. It's just the top of my head though, don't panic. It's all right. You'll be okay. I'll draw a light line here. You won't see it. And then we will zero out. I've got a ruler that's got a 0 in the middle. This is 5 1/4 wide, so it should be 2 1/8. So let's line it up, find out where our center is. Oh no, that's not right. 2 1/2 and 2 1/2, so it's going to be 2 and more. 2 1/2. No. 2 7/8. What is wrong with me and my math today? Just ignore everything I just said. How about that? So we'll draw a light line here. That's going to be where we want our center. And this cross line will show us how far down we want it. Can't put it up. Glue this side. See? Just in case. And obviously the closure is the top, the closed side of the flap. Now we're going to put enough glue on this one definitely to be able to smoosh it around. And it may take a little bit longer to dry, but that's all right. It's a little heavier material, so I feel comfortable putting on a little extra glue. Okay, let's line it up right here on our line. In fact, we can cover our line a little bit. And our line is straight. So, therefore, our notebook will be straight if we can line it up correctly. Yeah, I'm going to hold this up and look at it. Looks like it's a little far this way. I should have marked the corner as well. I wish that line had gone all the way up, but it does look pretty straight to the line. Okay. Now we want to put the brad here. I'm kind of afraid this well, we'll see. So how long is this? Oh, this might work. We'll have to see. I have to put it back a little bit. Here's our center. See how I left that on there? There's our center. Let's make a mark here. That's where we're going to make the hole with the Pokey tool. Okay. Let's set the brad and the closure over there. Let me get my Pokey tool, which I forgot to get. And in fact, no, I think this is small enough on the end. This also has a thing where you can set the brad, flatten it out, the prongs. I think this is from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'll try to remember to put a link below for that. Right now we're just going through the paper. So let's get our styrofoam, just in case. And we're gonna lightly poke a hole in there because we don't want to go all the way through to our glass cutting mat. Which, on a side note, I used my ceramic cutting tool, which I really like, which is in here somewhere. Well, I don't see it right this second. I was going to show it to you. The brand is called Slice. Anyway, I used that to cut something, and apparently, I'm letting the glue dry, apparently ceramic blades are sharp enough to cut glass, and I left a big long scratch right along my glass. So I've learned my lesson. No more ceramic blades on the glass surface. Now let's erase our center mark before we start putting all kinds of stuff on there. And I slid the this manila folder scrap, because this what it was a scrap. Let me tell you how wide this is. I believe this is 4 inches by 7 inches. 7 inches while it's, you know, closed. I'm just flinging stuff everywhere. Okay. Now we may need this again. We may need to make the hole bigger. There we go. And so let's see if we can do it with this closure. When you get the PDF, which is updated every week I add the new instructions for how to do the new page. And you can get that if you're a member of the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, which there's a link to that below as well. And I update it every week, and it also has links for everything that I use for each page. I may have made that too small. I'm having trouble reaching. My fingers are in the way. And the hole's a little small, but I would rather have the hole a little bit tight versus too big. All right, now before we close the prongs, let's see how we're going here. Oh, looks like that'll work fine. I'm going to put this here like this, closed, so I know how tight to make the brad. And there's little prongs. What happened here? They didn't both go through. That's why it was so hard. One folded, and it's not supposed to yet. Make the hole a smidge bigger. The farther you put the Pokey tool in, the bigger the hole is. And we always cover up the sharps around Terry. All right, let's try this again. Put this in the closed position. And if I can see, I'm going to open this and then make it tight by pushing down on it. I want to turn it like that so that it points away from the edge. Look at that. Okay. We are going to have to lift it a little bit to close it. So that is a little difficult. I may have made it too tight, but if without it being that tight, it's just going to swing out of the way. I mean, it'll hold it. We just have to put our thumb down to open and close it. Okay, so there it is. So now all we have left to do is we're going to tape the little prongs so they don't move around. I mean, it's okay if it's a circle, so I mean it would be all right for them to move, but we don't want them to dig into the paper. So we're going to cover them up so they're nice and soft. Soft to the touch. Okay. Now, all we have to do now is glue this to the page, right side up, and we will be done. With several minutes to spare. See, I'm trying to keep to 30 minutes. And I inked around the page too. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that, but just in case I didn't. And I inked around the manila folder. I didn't ink the brad. I could have, but I don't think you'd see it, and I don't think it would stick. Okay. The lid in here. Okay, Brad's going to go at the bottom. Page opens this way, so this is the top. So we're just going to center it on here. This is a little crooked, but you won't see it, fortunately, because other pages will be in between. Let's slide this up a little bit. Make sure it's straight. And slide it back down a little bit. Page can't get any taller. This is all the bigger the paper is. So there we go. Oh, and the name of the kit is Strawberry Summer by Janie B, and there'll be a link to that as well. I can't remember if I mentioned that at the beginning. And I won't know. Shoot. I moved it. I won't know what the prompt is for next week until Kyung tells in her video for this week. I'm going to re-glue it so I have some more smushy around, because I accidentally moved it right here and it made it crooked. So, live action. Mistakes, warts, and all. There's glue on the page as well, but Fabri-Tac will glue the plastic down. You know what I mean? It won't make a loose spot there. Okay, let's see if I can do a better job this time. I had it, and then I accidentally moved it when I was smooching the glue around. This time, I'm going to make sure and hold it really well. You want to make sure that the glue goes down especially well here. We just have to lift our closure up a little bit. It'll hold that shut. And so our page is done. What do you think? Strawberry Summer. Okay, that's it for this video. And I will see you in next week's video in the next series of the next page in our series of Page by Page, and that's a collaboration with Kyung Shotwell. And I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I'll see you next time, and that'll be, well, a week for you and a week for me, actually. I usually say a minute for you or a second for you and a day for me, but we'll see. Okay, bye.